Another year, government got bigger. As usual, it grew faster than inflation. It almost always grows faster than inflation. It has to grow, say the politicians. There's so much we need to do. Cut spending? No, we can't do that. The budget's already cut to the bone. What? They spent nearly $4 trillion this year. That's not bone, that's fat. Tonight we looked back at some of my attempts to tell the truth. And the truth is that the budget is so crammed with junk, it reminds me of this creepy TV show.
Hoarders. People whose lives are swallowed up by piles of their possessions.
That describes Washington, D.C. They just keep adding junk and they never throw anything out. When President Obama ran for office, he said he'd take out the garbage.
I'm not a Democrat who believes that we can or should defend every government program just because it's there. There's some that don't work.
But politicians always say they'll get rid of the waste. Then, once in power, they spend more, as he has. And they go along with their colleagues' ridiculous spending. It's a reason I hate politicians. Well, not all of them. There is one senator who does want to clean the waste out of Washington. Every year, his office puts out this waste book. It details stupid subsidies like the $10 million you spent to partner the National Guard with Superman.
In Part 4, we're going to examine the connection between Jim Jones, the Man of Steel movie, and the National Guard.
$10 million for that. Also, the National Endowment for Humanities gave $1 million of your money to something called the Popular Romance Project. The goal: study the influence of romance through novels and film.
As far as a woman and a man is concerned, I like to read about passion.
What makes love love? It's a love story. Who doesn't want a love story with a happy ending?
Me? I don't want one when taxpayers are forced to pay for things like that video. The lonely senator who fights the garbage is Tom Coburn. Senator, thank you for doing that. The Pentagon destroyed $7 billion of weapons that they could have shipped home from Iraq and Afghanistan.
That just shows you the inefficiency of the Pentagon. It costs more to ship it over there than it's worth. Why did we have the excess supply that we had?
The National Science Foundation spent $250,000 to study American attitudes toward the filibuster?
Yeah, isn't that really important? Maybe some of the things that you might see might be something the government might do sometime, but not when we have a $640 billion deficit. And maybe we ought to be returning the money to the taxpayers rather than wasting it on frivolous things like that.
And having politicians paying people to study the filibuster sounds like congressmen self-dealing.
Oh, it is. There's no question it was.